What's up, YouTube? It's Zan back at it again. Rhymed. So we're back on the Z125 today, and we are that close? That close to getting it running and on the road. And there's Heather over there waxing her legs. Hope she gave me a look. And hopefully we don't pick up too much of that music, or I'm going to have to do some funny stuff with the editing. So, found out we still have an oil drip, and then found a loose bolt in the case. So I'm going to check all of these bolts, these Phillips bolts are on the outside, and try to figure out what the torque is on them, because one was pretty loose, and it's right about where the leak looks like it's come from. So maybe the casing separated over the short time. Maybe something wasn't right out of the factory. I don't know. But we're going to get the sprocket, which I have the genuine Kawasaki sprocket. I have a new ring for it, new chain. And then this thing should be ready to do a couple small circles and make sure it runs properly. While we were gone, I cleaned this back chain up, which I gotta see. I don't know if that's stock either. 30. Oh, great. Is this not stock either? I'm gonna cry. Ugh. So let's go over to our beautiful Mac here. Z125 stock rear. No, look at that. Stock sprocket size. 30 tooth. Okay. And 100 chain links. Great. So 30 tooth, that's just 30 on it. We're going to go with it being 30. So we have a chain here. A nice Pro Taper chain. It's 134 links. So according to that, we're going to have to take 34 links out of it. Never done that before, so we're going to have to look that up because never done it. But let's get the sprocket on. 14 tooth. It says 14 right there. Voila, easy. And these are my professional opening tools. Screwdrivers. One. So if you guys rewind the series a bit and find the old one of these, just all sorts of messed up. Let's make sure there's no reason, no other way. Nope, fits on the same way. I didn't think it would, but I'm going to keep the 14 out so I can see it. Now I got to get some pliers for this. Did some WD-40 for these. Oh, this isn't the right sprocket, or the right. Look at that. Not even close. Wonder where this goes to. Wonder if I had the wrong part for this one. There's two of them. This is not the right part. So I'd like to use Partzilla here. You can use any site you want to find parts, but what would that be? Alright, YouTube, I found it's a little bit smaller one. And I don't even know if this one's right. This looks like an odd size. But it should for now. I'm gonna go up to Hebler's and get the exact one that I need. But for whatever reason, it's like the last two numbers were off for some reason. So I don't know if I wrote it down wrong, they punched it in wrong, whoever grabbed it, wherever the supply comes from, grabbed it wrong. But either way, it's wrong, and we're not going to deal with it. We're gonna put this on for now, temporarily. Obviously, not many miles. We're gonna be done for this, but oops. But we'll at least be able to get it together and test everything. And if I can figure out how to work my wrench here. And if this will fit, of course. Looks like it's going to be fine. And really, This is just to hold it in. It should be. Oh, that's perfect. So it's a little stretched out, but for now, sprocket's not going to go anywhere. We'll get the official Kawasaki one because I'm a perfectionist. So, but that'll hold it on there for testing. So, I guess the next thing to work on is this chain. No, it's because it's a 420 MX chain, which is what the guys up at Heller's recommended. So it's more of a motocross chain, it looks like. But I mean, when I cross-referenced it online, it said this is what you use for this bike. So let's get her out. It's all gold. Ah! Yeah. Comes pre-lubed. Yay. Love it. Love it. And I think this is going to be the master link, right? Yeah. Probably should put my gloves on first, right? Let's do that. Ah. Yeah, I had a whole kit of these, but they're all in SAE, not metric. So I grabbed the closest SAE. Figured it'll work for now. So brand new chain. Let's grab the old one. The very dirty and old one. And let's look at the difference. Yeah, it's a bit longer, isn't it? So I need to figure out what the stock length of chain is. Some people have said 120, some have said 100. And I want to make sure I take the right amount out. So we're going to go back to the manual, which finally downloaded the other day. Okay. Standard chain. DAIDO DID 420, which is, I've got a 420 AD 100 links. So we have to remove 34 links out of this chain. Now, does that include the master link, or does it not? And I guess the best way to figure that out is to pull this apart. There we go. So there's 100 links with the master. Dropped my master. So let's line these two up. So that would be the master. I don't want to get them touching too much because this one's dirty. But okay. Yay, making a mess. So I'd have to remove that one. And I'm going to do some counting here and make sure we got 100. And I'm going to do a lot of that stuff. So we'll get back to you when I figure that out and figure out what we're doing with this chain. Okay, I've measured. I've counted 4 or 5 times. And I got to take that out. So I've got a chain breaker, but I wasn't sure how to use it. So I looked up how to use it because I've never done this before. I have to grind off that top part and then push that pin out. And I don't know if this chain breaker is small enough, or if it's interchangeable, or I don't know. So what we're going to do is we're going to try. Worst case, we have to go buy a new chain breaker because it doesn't seem to be interchangeable with anything. Moves in there, so I don't know, maybe this thing comes apart somehow. But it looks way too big. So maybe what we can do is get the chain in here maybe and get a punch and punch it out. But I'm going to grind off that tip there. Tip, I don't know what you call that, the little bung? It looks like a weld almost. I don't think I can just force it out, but maybe I can. Let's try that first. It's probably a dumb idea. Because grinding on this wouldn't really hurt it because it's because the top part's going to be sacrificed anyways. So let's get that lined up pretty close. And I got a lot of neighbors that have power sports, so maybe one of them might have a proper tool. Let me get my wrench out. Oh, there it goes. But then I'm bottomed out. So I got it to move, but now I'm bottomed out because I can't go any further with it. Interesting. Because this is not, I don't know where this chain breaker came from. Oh, I know who it came from, but I don't know what it was used for in the past. So I doubt, I don't have a vise to hammer this out. Let's see if we can knock it with a hammer, and if I have a punch that'll do it. Some punches. Oh, I guess the only hammer I have out here is this big guy, so we're gonna try it. And okay, I'm trying to find the biggest punch I can use without going over the size. That looks like it. So what I want to try to do is, I'm going to do this on the ground, because if not, I'm going to break something else. I want to line that up and just tap it out. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's going to do it. Nah, this might be just a hair too big, actually. Let's go with one smaller, because I know this one will fit through. Okay. I don't know if it's going or not, but... Oh, there it goes. I can feel it going now. Uh-oh. Alright, so Zan Engineering has come, and I'm going to date myself here a little bit. I saw I kicked its ass, and let's, you guys feel free to put in the comments what movie that's from. Don't Google it. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, it's okay. I'll forgive you. So I used my tape here just to, well, basically just to make sure I was on the right mark. I didn't want to mess up and have to recount 100 times, so I just added a little tape. Blue was the first color I picked. Okay. What's this say? It says direction of rotation, yup. Chain grease in there and there before I put it together. Understood. Okay, let's Get the dirt off my chain. Brand new chain, some dirt. Love it. Now there's a chain guide in here I'm following. I'm just going nice and slow. I was trying to keep it from doing that. I was using the back wheel to make sure we were tight. Now the other thing we might have to do, which should be fine with me, is loosen up this rear wheel to retension this, because this chain might, the old chain might have stretched a bit. So let's actually just, I guess I should have done this a different way, but we've already come this far. Let's pull it all the way out here and try to get it. So I think the chain starts for this thing, for the rear adjustment, I think would be there, but we've pulled it back one. So let's take the cotter pin out. Let's loosen up the rear sprocket, which is less than a 16 mil on this side and a probably 17 on that side. Oh yeah, 17 it is. So let's get that cotter pin out. Let's pick up after myself. Got some spare chain now. Yay, can make something out of that later. Oops, that is not the chain breaker tool. And if we need to break another chain, we know that we need to buy a chain breaker. A real chain breaker, not this one. This might work for like big bikes, but not little bikes. I lost the part for it. Okay. So let me get all my tools together and we'll come back. Okay, so we've got the rear adjusters loose. I gotta remove the main axle now, which we're gonna see if we can do. There we go, loose and loose. Just gonna loosen this thing way up right now, so we can slide it nice and easy. Perfect. One. And maybe what we'll do is we'll slide it all the way forward so that we know we can get this chain on, and then we'll yank it back until it's straightened out. Ooh. Okay. One. Thank you. Beautiful. Look at that. Beautiful. Now it lines up. Which we're going to now... Oh, dropped it. Heather's fault. Voila. So there you go. Now the chain is on. It needs to be tensioned and all that. And we have to read that the instructions said to lubricate something. Of course, note to self, get scissors out here. I think I brought them all inside. Hammers. Sharpest knife I've ever owned. Chain lube. Let's get that master up here. Now it said to grease this guy. I'm just gonna, a little extra ain't gonna hurt it. Okay, done. We'll put made in Japan. So they want grease on this side too. Yeah, we'll grease it anyways. What's the worst that can happen? It gets a little grease on it. What to do? It's probably the same grease that's covering the rest of the chain. So one of the things I want to talk to you guys about for a second is the way that this link goes on. This goes in the direction of travel, so the wheel spins this way. This goes towards the end. So that's it. It's not hard, it's just keep note of it. Let's see if I can get it on with just a little pressure. Damn. think I either got to put it in gear or put the tire down to do this, so let's put the tire down. If not, it's just going to spin on me. Beautiful. It should be very easy once I get it aligned. And I know I'm not using the right tool for this, but voila. It's on there, it's locked in place. Done. Pick the wheel back up. So there we go, chain's on. It needs to be tensioned properly still, which you use these back here to tension everything. So let's get them hand tight, and then we'll start playing with the tension. I'm going to get them aligned to the line I think they're supposed to be on. 1, 2, lined up. Let's see what this side looks like. It's probably 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, see, 3 on this side, 2 on that side. So we have to. So now the tire, if it's 3 this side, it's cockeyed that way. Let's see if this will slide forward very easy. Oh, if I loosen this up. Yeah, so there you go. So now, wait, nope. There you go. So now it's equal left to right. Got little notches there. Equal left to right. Easy, done. Voila. Now most of your bikes will show you what slack you need. Range between 20 and 35 millimeter, 0.8 and 0.4. This doesn't look bad, but we're gonna get a tool that I bought for this, which was made by Chain Monkey. Tension tool. And for ours, we need 20 to 25, so between 1 and 2-ish. Right, 20 and 35? 20 and 35, so we set it between 1 and 2. So 1. I don't know if it'll work on this small of a chain. There's not a lot of room on this one. I might have to do this one manually. So you just turn this until it gets to the line you want. And then there should be no movement on anything else. So I'm going to take these, give them a couple tightens until there's a lot of tension on it. Okay, that should be good. And then basically all I have to do is verify that we're aligned here. 1, 2, 3. It's just that side. So this side I want to make sure is even, which it is. Voila, done. So this wheel should be very straight now, as long as nothing else is bent, which I'm going to jinx myself by saying that. So now all we have to do is tighten down this axle, which it shifted a little, so it's right in my hand. Okay, that should be good. Now I'm going to get the torque spec for this axle in a second, but it should be good. Just want to make sure it doesn't move on us. Okay. The other thing I noticed is my my marker here is bent. So we're going to have to double check that when we're done. So the rear axle nut needs to be at 47 foot-pounds or 64 newton meters, which I'm probably way over that already. So we might back this off and do it again. So if it clicks right away, it does not. Nice. Okay. So I gotta hold this axle still and do this. Just keep going. Voila. Beautiful. I'm gonna reuse the cotter pin because I know I put this in last year, so I know it's still newer. Oh, that is gonna be, if I can get in there, use my trusty hammer. There we go. Bend my cotter pin, we'll be good to go. Now, the last thing you want to do is take your wrench here on your tensioner. Make sure this thing's nice and tight, okay. And then tighten this adjuster up so that nothing here can adjust. Nothing can move on you. This side does not have the second nut, so I'm gonna have to buy one of those. Oops. Messing up again. So now if we take this off, it should be within 1, which according to all the things should be right within the tension required. So good to go. And we're going to come back and double check all of this before we go on any real ride with it. A couple test rides will be fine around the block. But for now, we're going to act like it's fine. So what we have to do is put on controls. Got a foot peg that needs to be tightened. And again, these are going to be test things that we do. Just going to get these snugged up for now. We'll come back and torque these down. But I want to go take this for a little test spin and make sure nothing really falls apart on me. Look at that, nice and smooth. That's not coming off. There's a chain guard that goes on here. I gotta find that. It's probably in that box. There's a chain guard, I found that, but we're not going to put that on yet. And then we've got other parts in here, which I got to see what they are. Oh, Lord. Oh, these are spare parts here. Socket bolts, dampeners. Okay, that's all spare stuff for the bike. And then those are bolts for the bike. Okay, so shift lever. We're gonna start there. I don't remember where I had this set before, but that'll be a great start. Voila. So I'm going to pick up all this mess, grab pants and a jacket. We're going to ignore this. I'm going to do a couple laps around the driveway, make sure everything works, go down, and we'll talk for a second in a parking lot right down the road, and then we'll come back and talk about the next steps, which I don't think will need to be on this lift. So we'll be back in a minute. All right, YouTube. Zan back at it. We are on the Z125 we just rebuilt. Seems to be going through the gears well. It's got a little whine to it, but I'm assuming, and I could be wrong, but I'm assuming that that's the front bearings that I know I need to replace. But I'm also going to get new tires for it, so I'm going to have Hebblers do it. I'm in a parking lot for a fire station, which looks like a cool place. Twin District. I'm just kind of doing a couple of circles, making sure everything's good, sure nothing falls apart. Got some tubes hanging and some, I'm missing a fairing down here. Got some loose bolts on it too, probably. I tried to tighten everything up best I could. And, oh, looks like on my way over here I lost my turn signal. Oh, great. Cool. I lost the turn signal cover. Ugh, I wanted new ones anyways, but I guess I gotta buy those sooner. I'll keep an eye on the way back and see if I can find it, but we'll see, I guess. So everything seems to be working well. No weird noises, no stalling. The brakes are still weird, but I think that actually has to do with the wheel bearing problem. I think the wheel bearing's loose, so it's making the front brakes feel weird. I did buy new front brakes, at least pads, because the rotor looked okay. I brought new pads just in case, but I think I'm going to wait until after the wheel bearings are fixed. So I'm just doing a little couple back and forths, and now we're going to pull over here, get off it, and see if we're leaking anything. Just to triple and double check. See if we can get neutral. Oh, right at a second. Look at that. Oh. Neutral. Okay. See if we're leaking anything. Looks good so far. Chain looks nice. Tension looks good. Everything seems to be working on it, besides that I don't have a hand grip, so, but, and fairings, but, and fairings and things holding cables in place, but we'll get that. So I think we're gonna head home, and we'll discuss what to do in the next video, because there's more to do on this, even though it looks awesome. It's rideable. That's what matters, right? I wonder if I want to bring that down just a touch, and maybe adjust the shift lever just a touch down so that I don't have to reach as far for it. Well, we'll get there. So, gotta figure out where these hoses go. Alright, so we'll see you back in the garage. Alright, YouTube, Z125 is back in the garage after our little test run. And one thing I realized I didn't do, I didn't ever torque down the engine bolts. So the engine may have been a little loose in there the whole time. So we're going to have to torque that down. We're going to go through a bunch of stuff, torque a whole bunch of stuff down. Get the book out. Really tedious. Nothing you guys are going to have to watch. But I'm going to torque down the engine. I'm going to adjust this guy to be, what was I doing? I was reaching, it was way too low. I wanted it up higher, I think. I'll have to rewatch the part of my video. But I'm going to adjust the shift lever, because it was a little off from where I wanted it. I want it down more. Anyways, we're going to adjust that. I mean, they're tightish, but yeah, we're gonna tighten, torque everything down. I didn't lose this bolt good. And we'll work on the next stuff, which are going to be handlebars and modifications to that. And then we're going to talk about what's going to go on to the rest of the bike. It needs to go up to Hebblers. I'm going to get new tire. The rear's pretty flat. I don't know if someone was doing burnouts with it before I bought it or what, but the rear's pretty flattened out. And the front looks okay, but I'm just getting brand new tires on both. I should ask the guys if it's easier for me to just bring up the tires or bring up the bike. Needs an inspection too, so maybe it's just better to bring the whole thing up. Anyway, I'll call Hebblers to see what they want to do, and we'll get everything torqued down. We have the Pro Taper handlebars, like I said. And I get the new control side, new grips. What else we got for this thing? Right now, I think that's about it. Get the covers back on too, and make sure all the wires and like these things are routed the right way. I think this is just a breather, so maybe I'll reroute that somewhere else and put a. Oh, I think this is like what I have for my Z1 or my XS650, where I need to put like a cap on the end that allows stuff to come out but not in. Possibly. That could be causing some crank breathing issues. A lot of covers. And we're going to check all the torques on the engine bolts that cut all the way through, because those might be why I'm leaking just a drop of oil here or there. Figure we'll do it. If not, then the crankcase needs to come out and get split. And that's a whole nother process. So we'll see what we can fix before that. Yeah. Is that enough of a list? Oh yeah. First corner I made, this guy fell out. It fell right out on the road, right outside my driveway. So I'm gonna put a drop of glue on there to hold that together. We're gonna get rid of the plastic surround and the turn signals at some point, but for now we're gonna just leave them. And that's it. That's the Z125 for now. Stay tuned for the next one. It'll be out, I don't know when, but I'm going to keep working on it. I'm not done with it. Handlebars feel so weird. They're like so short. And then we're going to do some upgrades. I don't know what yet. I want an exhaust. I want this. I want that. But got other stuff to work on too. So we'll see when that comes in. I at least want to get this rideable and running for now before we start doing upgrades. Get everything back together so that on another weekend we can strip down and do upgrades, but rideable first. Alright, everybody out there, ride safe. Check out all the rest of the videos if you want to see what's going on. Check me out on Instagram. Check Heather. She's over there tanning somewhere. Let's see if we can get her. Oh, over there, she's tanning. Check her out, Heather Moto Girl on Instagram. And yeah, till the next one. Peace out, everybody.